Well, this was my first time at Ministry Mind, and I took a chance on coming to this because it's probably been about 8 years since I went to a church conference. As a pastor, it used to be the thing to fill up the calendar with different conferences and places to go to be enriched, but after a while, it all started melding into the same thing. Actually, that was my mindset coming into this, is I have given up on church growth conferences, church conferences in general. Last one I went to was in 2009, and I was worn out. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, you get growth. And as a pastor of 12 years in the same place, it got tiring. So this was my first get together with other people to talk about the things of God, to talk about ministry, to have a think tank to lean on, and it blew apart all of my expectations. Yes, Frank Viola is here, and I appreciate his writings, and he shared a lot of insight. And the true power of the conference was sharing with other like-minded people, and the fact that they could hear my high points, my low points, and then they could weigh in. This is something that would easily run much money in any other market, but here, hearing from your peers, be it fellow pastors or other laborers in the church or just followers of Christ, and being able for them to weigh in on your situation, my situation meant all the world to me. And I think, in fact, I know this money spent to be here, as I traveled across America to be here, was better well spent than any other conference that I've been to. One of the unique experiences of this get-together versus other conferences I've been to, other small groups with authors, is that you get a chance to have input. You get a chance to hear from other people, and the fact that they get to weigh in. It's not just Frank Viola talking to you about what you can do to basically sharpen your game, but it's other people from all different walks of life around the United States, and in our case, in this group, someone from Nigeria, weighing in and being able to give advice, give wisdom from their past. I went to one where it was an author talking to a group of 50, and the whole thing was just him talking for 2 days straight from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. It was good, but it was exhausting, and this was refreshing in that that's what I came here expecting, just because that was the only framework I had to work with. And when I heard the format at first, I was like, okay, well, but now that we walked through it, it's refreshing. This was one of the first times that I've experienced sitting down and doing dinners, meals together with each other, and even during those times of unexpected laughter or just talking about the day-to-day, talking about families, it really was a Proverbs 27:17 moment where iron was sharpening iron. And during the sessions, very intentional. During the meals and hanging out, it was unintentional, but it was still happening. And that's something I simply have not gotten at specifically the big box church conferences, and not at the other, I guess, small groups that I've been to where you would hear from an author, because that's all it was just hearing from the author. You know, what surprised me the most about this conference was the format of it. Coming into it, there's always the register at the front, grab your packet, and go find a seat, and the person you're sitting next to is the person that you're going to see for the rest of the conference. This wasn't the case here. You were in a small group, which adds an element of uneasiness because you can't get lost in a crowd, and yet it adds a strong element of excitedness because these are people you're going to share life with for the next couple of days, and they are going to impart wisdom to you, and as they did to me, regarding the different challenges, struggles, celebrations in ministry that I face. What's unique about after my time of sharing my experience was that I got to have a seat in the small audience of 12 and got to listen to the next person share for quite a while about what they were going through and what their celebrations were, what their struggles were, and it's not just ministry. It was about life and their dreams and their goals. And then the tables were turned, and I got to weigh in on and offer advice from my experiences to what they were dealing with. And some people you could just rely on certain people to come at it from a more of a psychologist sort of viewpoint. Other people would come at it with more of a starting off in church ministry viewpoint. And for me, it's I got to offer advice from the viewpoint of a pastor that's been going at it for 20 years, and in either topics that are dealing with spirituality, family, or even the tech world we live in, we can offer advice on. So it was a joy to be able to weigh in on all of those topics and help each other out. One of the big take-homes that I get from this event and these kind of events is the wisdom, specifically from this one, the wisdom from people to proceed with doing something that I presented when it was my turn. It's weird how people work, and it's how I work, that if you're on the brink of doing something, dreaming, taking that next step, and you hear from somebody you don't even know, but they're reputable and they have a heart for ministry like you do, they'll give you permission to do it. And sometimes that's all you need in order to go home and take that next step. They affirm you, and that's what happened here. And so I'm leaving with the go-ahead to do a couple things, and I'm also leaving with 12 new friends that I haven't met before, but we will remain in contact.